Here is another homework problem from homework number 11. It says a classic counting problem is to determine the number of different ways that the letters of possession can be arranged. Find that number. All right, before we jump right to possession, let's do an example with a little shorter word. How about the word cat? Okay. How many different ways can you arrange the letters in cat? Well, because it's only 3 letters, let's quickly do it. We can do C-A-T. We could do A-C-T. We can do C-T-A. We could do A-T-C. And lastly, we can do T-C-A or T-A-C. I think I got them all. So we can see that there's 6 different ways that we can arrange the letters of cat. Now, if I suddenly gave you a 12-letter word, that would take a long time to figure out all those different arrangements, and it would be a lot more than 6. So, like we learned in class, we're just going to use our factorial concept, which is, let's imagine we're going to choose, how many choices do we have for that first letter if we're going to arrange them? We could choose the C, the A, or the T. Those are the 3 choices we have. So we have 3 choices for this first spot. Times, once we've chosen that first letter, how many choices do you have for the second spot? And you can see we have 2 choices for the second spot, and then 1 choice for the last spot. And you can see quite easily that 3 times 2 times 1 is 6, but that also can be written as 3 factorial, and if you try that on your calculator, you will see that it equals 6. All right, so let's try one more before we jump to possession. What happens when there's a doubling of a letter? So for example, let's try the word add. Okay. How many different ways can we arrange the word add? Well, if you think of this D as a little d1 and this D as a little d2, and we do the 3 factorial because there's 3 letters, it's going to count, for example, A, D1, D2 as one of the ways, but it's also going to count A, D2, D1 as a second. It's going to be one of those 6. But in actuality, it's exactly the same word, ADD, ADD, or the same arrangement of letters. We don't distinguish between the Ds. And that's going to happen with each arrangement. So we could do D1, A, D, and that's going to count it one way. Then it's going to count D2, A, D1 also as an arrangement. So now we've got 4 when really we only want 2. So how do we adjust for that? Well, D is a double number, so we will divide through by that 2 factorial. And the reason it's factorial and not just 2 is because if we had a third letter here, imagine you had a D3, you would actually have 6. They would be 6 times the same. So it's because of all those arrangements that get multiple results. So this is going to be the same idea. It's going to be 3 letters, therefore the arrangements will be 3 factorial, but we need to divide through by those repeats, 2 factorial. So in this case we would get 6, and 2 factorial is just 2 divided by 2, which is 3. And in the end, that's exactly what would happen. You would have, this would get canceled, this would get canceled out, and then you have that third one, which would be the DDA, but it would also happen twice. DDA. One with the 1, 2, and one with the 2, 1, and one of them by dividing through by 2, you're canceling one of them out, and you're left with 3. So that's where it's really coming from. But the actual math involved is not terribly difficult. So let's go now to our word possession, which is a big word. P-O-S-S-E-S-S-I-O-N. So following the rules from above, we can see that possession has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 letters. So the number of ways to arrange those 10 letters is 10 factorial. Okay. However, we now need to divide through the doubling up or the tripling up, or in this case, the quadrupling up. So for example, we have 2 O's here. So I need to divide through by a 2 factorial. But in addition, we also have, let's see, I'll put a cross through it. 1, 2, 3, 4 S's. So I actually have to divide through by 4 factorial. That's how many different ways those letters will rearrange themselves, but the end result will be the same. So we have to divide through by that. I think that's it for the repeat letters, P, E, I, and N. Yes. Okay. Now, the rest you can just do on your calculator. Just be careful. When you plug this into your calculator, be sure to put parentheses around this bottom. Without it, if you hit 10 factorial divided by 2 factorial times 4 factorial, your calculator won't realize that it's being divided. It'll bring that 4 factorial up. So just to avoid that, you can put the parentheses around there. And when you finish, out should come 75,600. So that's a lot of different ways. That's a lot of different ways that we can arrange the letters in the word possession. So try another one. Maybe the word Mississippi.